next guest is fresh off his first major title. I'm joined now by 2018 Masters champion Patrick Reed, who won the tournament by a shot over Rickie Fowler. It never gets old, does it?
It doesn't. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that just still trying to have it all soak in and realize what really happened.
What was the best text message or phone call you got after it?
Ooh, that's a hard one because I had so many friends from tour text me. I had T-Dub sent me a text, Tom Watson. We had Davis Love, had Tom Lehman, Lee Trevino, just so many of the guys, so many of the veterans who sent me texts just to congratulate me.
Tiger must have sent you one, given that you had to ditch your red shirt on the last day. Yeah,
he did, and of course he reminded me that, well, you're in pink, not in red. So I just remind him that, azalea pink might be the new red. You never know.
That's the quote of the day. What moment do you relive the most, be it a happy moment or a terrifying moment when you're about to fall asleep and you wake up, that might have really changed the tournament for you?
Yeah.
Was it the 17th?
I think the biggest thing was the 17th with, hitting that putt, thinking that it was going to go in, and then all of a sudden, catching that low lip and, spitting out and going about 4.5, 5 feet by. And when I made that putt, that's then when I felt just the sigh of relief, like, okay, now all you have to do is par the last. And, I feel like I was hitting the ball well enough that I was able to handle the ball striking aspect and where that pin is. If you just get the ball started, you're going to have a pretty good look at par.
Now, you've said that you play well in adversity. Any adverse circumstance, that fuels your fire. You were playing more or less a match play type situation with Rory for the first 6 holes or so, first half dozen holes or a little more. Once he dropped off, did that make it, paradoxically more difficult for you to play your best?
It's kind of hard to say because going in, I knew, and everyone knows, just like Rory knows, that the guys behind us, how that leaderboard was stacked behind us, that any one of them has the firepower to go shoot 9, 10 under par. And with that being said, him and I were trying to go out there early and try to post a number, try to get a couple under par through the first 6, 7 holes. And it was kind of one of those things that once I was even, 1 over par, bouncing around, and Rory was kind of struggling. Then it was at that point, all right, don't get consumed into what Rory's doing and try to stay focused, because there's a golf tournament to be won here, and, this back 9, you have to play well, you have to shoot under par. You
had other problems facing you by that point, or very close to it. By the end, there were several Europeans in contention, but by the end, it was really an American leaderboard. 1, 2, 3, you had Spieth, Fowler, yourself. Does that tell you anything about what might happen in September in Paris, where, of course, I'm sure you're already looking forward to the Ryder Cup?
Yes, I can't wait for the Ryder Cup. And, it's awesome to see our guys playing well, especially the younger Americans coming out and playing solid golf. It's kind of around that time where the transition from last generation to this generation, how are we going to fulfill, what the last generation has done. And, it's going to have to be a whole of all of us. It can't just be one guy, because one guy's not going to be able to fulfill the shoes of a Phil Mickelson, of a Tiger Woods.
Well, so, I don't know. Can you? Maybe.
I'm going to try, but at the same time, with how deep the fields are these days, we need multiple guys to step up and continue playing well. And, I feel like, with myself, you got Rickie, Jordan, you got Justin Thomas, right off the bat, those guys all are going to try to fulfill those dreams.
Well, speaking of Jordan and Justin Thomas, if you add in Brooks Koepka and now yourself having taken the green jacket from Sergio, it's basically a reigning American, major right. slate. How long can that last? What European topples one of you guys?
None until after Paris. we're coming for a vengeance. We know it's going to be a tough place to play. Our record as a whole on team is not very good overseas, but we're up for the challenge. We can't wait to go over to Paris and play, because my first experience at Glen Eagles, my first Ryder Cup overseas, was absolutely incredible.
Well,
I wouldn't want it any way.
You do have a good record when it comes to the Ryder Cup. Your manager has had a great year. He's also Chloe Kim's manager. What kind of sponsorships have been coming in since then? What has he got planned for you?
we're just all along for the ride right now. You know, I mean, CAA, Lowell Taub, and Paul Danforth have been unbelievable. I mean, we've really enjoyed being with them and having a great time. And you know, what a year to have Olympic golds, their first major.
But I just mean in terms of sponsorships, you have such a good thing going with 14 clubs in your bag, whatever you want to use. You are not bound to anybody. Would you consider changing that? Will you take on a sponsorship?
Yeah, it depends. With being able to partner up with Nike, it allowed me to free up and feel real comfortable with putting all these clubs in my bag. So, a lot of times, it's just all going to depend. Hopefully, and maybe if I do, it might be a kind of split deal rather than just one.
Well, there you go. To all those companies out there, I think that's putting it up to everybody. So, Patrick, I hear you're pretty good at the wedge shots.
I am.
We're going to have a little masterclass here, Mark, and send it back to you. Our thanks to 2018 Masters champion Patrick Reed.
Thank you.